when I found out that my co-hosts probably most likely going to need to like shift the time around, I was
Mhm.
like, I got a fucking idea. I gotta have a one-on-one with fucking Tan.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. All right, I'm just gonna hop in, kind of like get us like started, just to get us rolling. I love the
Yeah.
idea of not podcasting for 2 hours. Great, fantastic. Okay, great.
You are now tuned in to your number one radio station.
Violent people.
Radio.
Welcome to Violent People Radio. My name is Orchid. That's it. I am joined, as always, by no one. My co-host couldn't be here today for various reasons, and at the last minute, instead of just canceling and making y'all wait for another week, I decided to ask Natan to join me for a little one-on-one podcast. So welcome to Upsal Joshi edition. Natan, how are you doing today?
Chilling. Going all right. Had a lazy day, but can't complain about that for sure.
That's great. Lazy, I would have killed for lazy today. I found out at about 3:00 that Bank of America is potentially trying to foreclose on my parents' house because my cousin forgot to send me notices that they were taking action.
Jesus Christ.
So she tried to apologize, and I have yet to tell her to go fuck herself. But Rachel, if you're listening to this, I'm looking forward to telling you to go fuck yourself in a very Staten Island accent tomorrow. So yeah, I'm glad you had a lazy day. You earned it, girl.
I sure did.
You sure did. You sure did. All right. I promise I'm not going to eat any chicken. And I do promise that we won't be recording super long today. Before we pop into our mini Oopsal Homos edition, I just wanted to give a couple of just general administrative things, right? Like, who fucking cares? So Pat remains on vacation. I don't necessarily know the status of him next week. Tanner, who was supposed to fill in, was dying and is not dying anymore, but is still recovering from almost dying.
Is
And
he getting on the couch?
I have not got an update about the couch, to be honest.
Wow.
That is a good question to get confirmation on, is to figure out whether or not the couch ever arrived. Hopefully, after not dying, he has somewhere to rest his beautiful Alabamian body. And Sam is going to Germany for reasons we can't discuss. And I don't think you want to know.
That's ominous.
Yeah, that's the point. And Dan tonight is because Dan, the perfect princess that he is, and the stellar uncle he is, will need to be cheering on the sidelines of youth league football for the remainder of the fall. His nephew's football games fall on Thursdays for the majority of the fall. So that means that we are going to be shifting our podcasting schedule to record on Tuesdays, which means that I will be recording Patron Saints on Sundays, and then this podcast on Tuesdays. I am sure I'm going to be a very sane person come Wednesday. But all to say, pardon to our loyal two listeners who were not able to check out, who I know are desperate for to hear whatever strange, vaguely problematic thing Pat has to say, and whatever explicitly sexual thing Dan has to say. But you'll have to wait a few more days for that, and I'm looking forward to like getting back in the swing of things with my girls / my boys. So look forward to a new episode late Tuesday evening, early Wednesday morning, whenever Dan gets around to finishing it. And yeah, we will be recording on Tuesday. At least me, Chris, and Dan, and probably not Padraig, but we'll see about that.
He wants
Yeah.
to be
Anyway,
on so bad.
I know, and bless his heart, right? Like I've last night I found myself in the middle of someone was being mean to Cameron on Twitter, and my motherly instinct kicked in. And while I was like cursing someone out today for being a Will Ospreay fan, I was thinking the entire day, like, I like Padraig so much more than I like Cameron. No offense to Cameron. And I was just like sort of like really feeling just like guilty about it. But I think we could all safely say that it's a bit. But also essentially say I'm not going to ask that boy to come on the podcast at 1:00 in the morning to talk to us nut jobs. So he will continue to ask so long as I am the one trying to find the replacements. He will always be my last ask. Sorry, sweetheart, but I don't want you to sleep. I don't want you to end up like me. Yeah, no, but he does desperately want to be on. But yeah, no, let's pop right into it. I do, as I said, I kind of want to make this a mini episode, and not spend too much time, especially since
Sure.
yeah, Lord knows what we'll be talking about on Tuesday. But I know full well that me and you have both been, as the resident Joshi heads who have been on this podcast this year.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, we probably have to talk about, is it the match of the year? Mio versus Sari?
Maybe
Maybe,
it's
right?
it's
Yeah.
like a contender. It's like, is it your match of the year?
I don't think so. I
No.
think like it was in my top 5 until the G1 final. Now
Uh-huh.
I feel like that really just shifted. Like, I think that like it's cute seeing how that rearranged so many people's brains. And it did for me too.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I don't think it's in my top match. I think like hands down, it's definitely the best women's match I've seen this year. Have you seen a better women's match?
I like some of Chihiro's defenses a lot. I'm
Yeah,
like
same.
higher on her than Suri in general.
Yeah, same.
But so I think like I didn't give it a lot of thought. I've been like trying to be less ranking brained of
Yeah,
late,
smart.
but I do want to kind of think about that for a second. Like, let's see. The second, I guess it probably is better than all of them. Like the only defense she has that might have been better was last year. The Miki Iwata match, which I know we both liked a lot, and we
Yeah,
both liked a
great
lot more
match.
than the Suri match that happened like a month later and got twice as much talk. But I think that's her best defense, and that was last year. So yeah, it probably is.
Yeah,
Uh, the only other contender is there was a tag in Seedling like
yeah.
over Mania weekend
The
that
one
I
with
thought was
Yugami.
say again
The one with Yugami.
with it was Ufunagi. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that
that would
match.
be.
I thought that match was awesome. There
Yeah,
was a lot of headbutts in it, which ruled. Um, yeah, I think it probably is. Which I don't love because I thought that match was
me
like really
neither.
good, but not great. But I feel like I've watched a lot of really good but not great Joshi this year. So what can you do?
Same. Yeah, it does feel like a down year, and it's interesting because like we'll talk a little bit about
Mhm.
Sendai in the mini top, but
Yeah.
it is one of those things where like I definitely feel like, generally speaking, I have fatigue about a lot of modern wrestling. I would have less
Mhm.
fatigue if there were more interesting things going on in Joshi wrestling. But the
Mhm.
reality of it is that like not a ton is happening in Sendai. As like as much fun as I'm having watching it, especially like big matches,
Mhm.
not a ton, not a ton.
There's
And
not a
I'm
lot
with
of
you.
like big stories for sure.
Yeah, and I'm with you too. Like I'm pretty high on Chihiro's year as well as I
Mhm.
probably will be every year until she retires.
Mhm.
But like it's even then, like when I do say that I like her defenses, I mean I think probably the one I like the most is Manami, and damn, that tops out at like a very good match,
Yeah.
if even that.
Oh, I
Um,
think it was very good, but yeah, it wasn't
yeah,
great. That's probably true.
it's just been a minute since I thought about it.
Mhm.
I remember the zones one being fun too, uh, but a little less good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like what was so appealing, just generally speaking, about like Sari versus Mio, and I know like we're not alone here. Like a lot of people have like seen this match have been like really singing its praises.
Yeah. I think it was like the match you would hope they would have and like a very good version of it. So like obviously they hit really hard. I remember there was Sari hit a drop kick like when Mio was like on the bottom rope. That was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
So that was
Yep.
sick. And that sort of energy was like present in the match like start to finish, which is obviously like one thing you would love to see. And then the other thing is like the energy of the match was really great, both in terms of like that crowd was really hot for Mio, which I thought was
Which
really
was
sick.
so sick, so fucking
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, loved every bit
And
of that. It's so sick to see like somebody get behind like I don't know, like Sari's like a cult of personality, right? I'm in the fan club, so I like see
right.
all like my Japanese homeboys like try to like rally in the morning to be like, today's the big day, let's go and support Sari, bring your red streamers. It's hilarious. I see that. I see the entire rundown of like how they're like planning to like attend like a venue and do what
That's
they can
so
to take
cute.
it over. Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
It's
So, but
awesome that there's a concerted effort to do that, and the crowd was still like 90-10 or something. That rips.
right? Yeah, I know. I get it. You notice it like kind of like immediately, right? Like as soon
Those
as
are
like
just
the
like
streamers,
Mio, Mio. Like,
hmm
yeah.
even with the streamers, right? Like there was like a
Yes.
noticeable like difference. Like it
Hmm.
seemed like Mio's streamers were like double Saris. I was like, oh fuck, that's
Yeah.
great. I feel like I've always loved Mio, and I
Hmm.
think that like it's more of like an emotional like pick. Like it's like definitely not like a quantitative one. But like I think
Hmm.
for me personally, like I just really enjoy Mio's year. I think like if I like gun to my head, if I had to figure out like where I'm ranking them, and like it's crazy that like we're almost 3/4 of the way through the fucking year. It's scary to say that.
Hmm.
So like it is time to start thinking about like what VP 100, but I think like gun to my head, like I don't know if I'm going to rank anybody. There's still a little bit of time left in the year, but like as it stands right now, like I've just really fucking enjoyed everything Mio did this year. Even if like she doesn't have any like signature matches in the same way that Chihiro has. I mean, like
Hmm.
I just like I mean, you throw in the 7 minute Uirera one
Yeah.
from February, or even like the Johnny Robbie match at
Hmm.
uh, WrestleMania week. I was just like, fuck, this little bastard can like do it all. It's just like 7 minute match, tight, condense, fucking
Hmm.
killer. 20 minute match against somebody who's like a few tiers below her. She's elevating her in like a really
Hmm.
interesting way. I think that's what I love the most about the Sari match is that like
It's the
good.
I was gonna say it's like the first time that this year, at least. I mean, she's done it before, obviously, but it's the first match this year where she has a singles match against somebody who's on her level.
Yeah,
So,
truly.
so it was like really cool to see her do well in that, and she has like the support the crowd gives her is like really well earned in terms of like her baby face performance in this match, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
completely.
mhm,
Um, yeah, and I think that like Mio is just so good at like sort of like from an input standpoint, just like figuring out exactly what she needs to do to like structure a match around her opponent's strengths. Even if like they're not bringing as much to the table as Mio is. And she has like that versatility to like, you need her to work high speed, she will. You need her
mhm,
to brawl, she will. And it was just like, for me, it felt sick that like, I feel like Sorry, I am incredibly high on Sorry. Like I adore the little fucker. That is
mhm.
my demented little murder squirrel. And but like she is so hit or miss, right? Like I feel like when I compare her to anybody historically, like I feel like my appreciation for her is more like it is for like somebody like Rob Van Dam, who like I fucking love, but like Rob Van Dam has a lot of fucking shitters, and like
When
I don't
you
think
say
Sorry is too high. Like it's not like she's. Although now I'm
mhm.
imagining Sorry high. Sorry, go ahead before I
When you
go down
say
that
you
rabbit
find
hole.
some of her matches to be misses, how many of
Mm-hmm.
those are just because she went into like finisher spam mode at the end of the match?
Yeah, that is it. Sometimes I think she leans into maximalism in a way that's not all that great. Like the Eora match from the Marvelous show. I remember being like really gassed about that, just being like, this was just a fucking waste of 28 minutes, just like across the
The from the
board.
10th anniversary show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And like, Iora is Iora. Like, like you feel however you want to feel about her. Granted, great match in the semi-main on the same
Yes.
fucking Marvelous guy. Like, fuck God, that was so sick. But yeah, like, I mean, as a singles worker, I often like leave just being like, why the fuck am I watching wrestling? Like, and I really, you'd expect them to have a better match, but like, I never feel as if it's Sari. It's rare that I feel as if Sari is raising the floor of her opponents. And
Sure.
like, for somebody who like is as good as like kind of like getting babyface fire, you would hope that like she'd have more of that like Danielson or Sakamura qualities to her, and like she just doesn't fucking have it. And it's funny, like all the things that like I thought I saw in Sari, like when I first started watching her, when really it was just like I was just watching her wrestle Chihiro and Miko. It's wild that like everything that I thought about her has been like transferred over to Mio, to like a smaller extent. Like I don't think Mio is like ever going to be like considered like universally a top 10 wrestler in the world, which is probably a fucking crime. But
Yeah.
I mean, but fuck all, do I get the appeal?
I mean, I feel like a lot of it for Mio is a function of where she wrestles and how she's booked, right?
Yeah.
Like she's 10 years into her career now. She held the world title for like a minute and a half.
Sure.
The Marvelous World title. And then she's held like the Senjo title a bunch, like 4 times or whatever. But that's like the Senjo tag title, like 4
yeah.
times. Yeah, which is like it's not the same. So, and she doesn't wrestle like she doesn't wrestle Marvelous or not Marvelous, Stardom or Marigold. She doesn't wrestle in America except like twice a year. So
Yeah.
it's like hard for her to get the same level of notoriety or like chances, really, right? Like we said, this rematch was her first real like singles match against like a really excellent opponent this year, I think.
Yeah, totally.
But to go,
nothing. She did not have a good like. It's her signature opponent for the year. It's 100% accurate. I can't think of a.
Yeah, she has like a couple other good matches, and she has like a bunch of good tag matches. Like I think we're both big Bobo Momo Banana fans.
Oh, fucking absolutely.
But that like also those style of matches, I think don't appeal as much to like American Joshi fans or to like a subsection of them because like they are well worked and they're well structured, but like they're also kind of silly. And like there's a lot of like very self-seriousness in the scene, and that doesn't lend well to her like becoming a big star, I think.
Yeah. That definitely does feel fair. It's wild though because they did win Wrestle Purist Tag Team of the Year in 2024, which I'll never get over. To me, it's like the funniest thing in the universe. Like how many people who are voting in the Wrestle Purist awards are like actually actively tuning into Senjo and Marvelous shows. I got a kick out of that one.
That is pretty funny. Yeah. It's always interesting to see like who becomes like not critical, but like a darling of like that like section of the fan base. Because like sometimes it makes a lot of sense and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I just really think it's very like Observer-esque, right? Like or Murder Bushi-esque. Like somebody sees a clip, somebody who has like 10,000 followers like retweets it, and then it's however many people decide to vote it. Like parrot that. And I don't know. Like I feel like one thing that I've been thinking about a lot lately, as Colette and I like take earnest stabs at like I don't know taking this a little bit more seriously than me and the gang do, which is not to say that they don't take it seriously, but it's just a shit poster angle we try to take. It shocks me how like I do wonder how many people voted in the Wrestle Purist fucking awards just based on how like little work that it took for us to like get into the top 100 of Apple Podcasts after like 10 episodes.
Top 100 of like all wrestling podcasts or
all wrestling podcasts in America on Apple. Yesterday we were ahead of both Voices of Wrestling flagship podcasts, which
I saw that. Get fucked, nerds.
Suck my dick, Lanza. Fucking racist fuck. I didn't forget, bitch. But yeah, no, and like that's off of like, I mean, full transparency, like,
Mhm.
you know, like iTunes streams, like, I mean, like, I don't know, like we're really proud of ourselves. So like our the last episode had 200 streams over 3 days, and like, you know, that's across every platform. So like to get that far in iTunes, it was
Yeah.
like, I don't know, 20, 25, maybe 30 streams. It's fucking hilarious.
I
Which,
don't
like, you know, I hope gives us hope, right? Like we could
Mhm.
probably be millionaires, violent millionaires. We can get
Violent
there.
millionaires. I think Russell Purist mostly does like YouTube stuff for whatever that's worth. So I don't
Fair.
know. I don't know. And like Twitter. So I don't think they have like an audio only podcast. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. And
Um,
I haven't been following them a lot like lately in a bit anyway, but like it does seem as if Will Ospreay has like actively like decided that every woman who works for them should not be paying attention to wrestling. I'm sure that hasn't played well into their engagement.
God, he's such a great baby face guy, you know?
What a yeah, I mean dressed up like Wallace and Gromit, fucking getting mogged by a fucking anime nerd, bisexual anime nerd. Ah, fucking pathetic. Well, as much as I would love to talk about Will Ospreay, what would to try to limit this? What there was one other match that I watched at your recommendation that I know you wanted to talk about today, and it will absolutely lead into the big top. So
Sure.
yeah, I kind of wanted to give you a little bit of space to talk about that match.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, the Reina Takano debut match.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome. So, for people who don't know, because obviously the violent people hate women, we know this. Reina Takano is the newest wrestler for Sendai Girls, and she debuted, I guess, about a month ago. They had like one of their big shows of the year in a tag match that was her and Yuna against Aja Kong and Miku Kane, which was I thought that match was awesome. Like off the bat, it's not like no, it's just like it was awesome. There's like I don't actually feel the need to qualify that.
Okay.
Um, and what was really interesting about it, I think, was that was mostly the parts where Reina is in the ring with Aja because Aja is absolutely murdering this poor girl. This poor and like I don't want to say this like in a diminishing way, but like little, like actually physically very small. I didn't actually realize how small she was until this
You're,
match.
you're talking about Rika, right?
Reina, yeah.
Random, my bad. Yeah, no,
Mm,
she's. I mean, like you're close to my age, right?
yeah.
Like,
Mm,
I'm 41. Yeah, yeah. And like, I mean, like, she looks like a fucking baby. Like, I mean, like,
mm.
it's like, yeah, she's a tiny kid.
So before she made her debut, I'd like seen her in the video in the YouTube doc we're going to talk about later, and I knew she was small, but it wasn't until she was in the ring with Miku, who is always, I think, if not literally, then like 99% of her matches, the smaller person in the ring, and Miku was bigger than her. That's when it was, oh my god, she's tiny,
That's
and
true. That motherfucker's tiny too.
she's tiny, and that was I think, oh god,
Hell yeah. Is that Bank of America? They're gonna foreclose in your home.
no, that was we'll take care of that later. That was my doctor's
All right.
office.
Yeah. Let's
So
make sure we get to that.
we'll take care of that later.
Good. Good. Good.
But yeah, that was the first time I've seen Miku not be the smallest in the ring, which really put into perspective how small Reina is. But so like I said, we don't have to go through like blow by blow of the match, but at a certain point, uh Miku tags out and Aja tags in. So it's Reina, the debuting girl, who's I want to say 18. And I
She
know
can't
for
be
a
older than
fact,
7. That motherfucker can't be older than 7 years
and I
old.
know for a fact doesn't weigh more than 50 kilograms, which is
I learned that a minute ago. Yep. Yeah.
yes, which is I think 110 pounds.
Oh hell yeah, we got fucking weak conversions on this motherfucking podcast. How much was it again? 112, 100 and what'd you say?
110.
That motherfucker, that's crazy. 110 pounds.
Yeah,
That's
and Aja has to be more than twice her size, right?
Oh,
And,
yeah,
yeah.
fair.
So she gets in and she does the thing like like one of the things I love about Joshi is there's like a very strong sense of hierarchy.
Mhm.
So like nothing works like in general when you're a rookie against like a legend. So she's like going in and she's dropping forearms and drop kicks and like none of it's doing anything. And then Ozzy just starts unleashing like these absolutely disgusting chops. And like to her credit, I think Reina does a good job of handling it for the most part and like showing a lot of fire. I think that's fair to say. I think
Sure.
that's like
Yeah.
the most like that's the biggest reason coming out of this match to be excited for her. That and she had like a really good drop kick for somebody who's been training 3 months. Really good drop
That
kick.
was on the anniversary show, right?
Uh this tag match we're talking about.
Yeah, the tag.
Not the anniversary show, but
Okay.
it was the big state. Oh yeah, I guess it was called. They call like all their matches this year 20th anniversary shows.
Yeah, and that was the bigger one, right?
Yes, this was like they
Yeah,
had
yeah.
this in like a big like 5,000 person arena or whatever.
That was with Vinny and Chihiro on the main event.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I did see this match. Okay. Yeah,
Uh huh.
yeah.
And but what? So like she spends like 5 minutes in the ring just getting absolutely brutalized by Aisha.
Rocked. Yeah.
She got murdered, and
Yep.
eventually she tags out and she rolls down onto the floor. And then like the corner, like they always have seconds at Joshi matches, and I guess most Japanese matches actually is like consoling her. And when I watched the match the first time, like just the Wrestle Universe broadcast, I sort of assumed like, yeah, she was like not doing great, but she's like on the floor to like sell that she got her ass whooped, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they released like a second cut of this on their YouTube, which where the camera is like more focused on her, and you can see like she's bawling her eyes out. She's like on the verge of a panic attack. I think like the combination of like how hard she got hit and like the moment it's her debut, and that like it really made it feel. What's the word I'm looking for? It made it feel like real and powerful in a way that like not that many matches do.
Sure.
Like, oh, reminds me to circle back to something we talked about earlier. I totally forgot about this when we were discussing it. My women's match of the year is Mio versus Ai Hozan, and
Yeah,
for
word. Yeah.
for sort of the same reason as this is
Yeah.
great. It's just like it felt so like it was brutal physically and also mentally and emotionally in a way. And watching them like suffer and then overcome was like really powerful in a way that most matches aren't.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you see her. She spends like I don't know 5 minutes like on the ground, getting consoled and like recomposing herself, and then to see her do that and just like you can see she's gone through hell, and then to come
Mm-hmm.
back in and like finish the match, I thought that was really cool. Like
This is the
that,
tag we're talking about still, right?
yes,
Yeah, okay, fantastic. Cool. Dope.
yeah,
I
like
love that you gave that much attention to a debuting Joshi who doesn't even weigh 50 kilograms. That's fucking awesome. That's so
I
sick.
I wouldn't have watched it twice, like on its own, but they put out like like one of the Senjo Soul videos was just essentially just this match, and I was like I was skipping through it to see if there's anything interesting, and I saw her like I saw that part which I didn't see the first time, and I was like, holy shit, this is insane. And it took like a match that I thought was pretty good, but like I wouldn't have like talked about it on the show if it was just that like the
Yeah,
first
sure.
version, but like seeing her actual reaction just like took it to another level, if that makes sense.
Yeah, completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched her debut singles match before this. And I think like like forgetting about her existence, which is not her fault. I'm just a very overwhelmed woman at the moment.
Sure.
I really did leave the marvelous or sorry the singles match was like also just like hyper impressed by like by Senka in it as well. Like it's so sick to see that like them put their trust in like two young women who like probably don't. I mean, obviously one of them's barely fucking wrestled, but like I mean, just
Mm-hmm.
two young women under the age of 20, and you're able to like throw her in there with like obviously somebody who's pretty prodigious with
Mm-hmm.
Senka and just like I just was just like left that match just being like fuck this kid can fucking do it all. It's like Joshi Legend, a peer who she's probably better than that probably gets a little bit more praise than I think she deserves, or some kid who's just starting. It's just absolutely sick to just like see what she's able to like pull out of her. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like that like probably is a good way to transition into talking about the Senjo Soul documentary, but I did or documentary series, which I'll admit I'm going to lean on you heavily.
Sure.
I
No
think you've
worries.
seen I think you've seen every episode. I've only seen the first and the last.
Uh-huh.
But I still have a bit to say about it. But before we do that, like the one match that I want to talk about, since we were talking about children's wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to ask you, like, are you familiar with the independent British wrestling scene?
Um, I try not to I try not to follow it too much, but a little bit.
Yeah, no, it makes sense, right? Considering some of the things that have happened within it. So it might
Yeah, and
alarm you
that's not even talking about the off the field issues.
exactly. And that might leading into that, it might alarm you to know. I feel like it's a public service announcement here from Violent People Radio. It might alarm you to know, Natan, and everybody else
Yeah.
who might be listening, that there is something in Tamworth, in the United Kingdom, called the Bathory Pro Youth Academy, which is something that, for some reason, came across my recommended feed when I was watching YouTube Sarah Del Rey matches. I guess I watched a few too many like barely viewed Shimmer matches that it decided to recommend to me a youth training academy based out of Tamworth called the Bathory Pro Youth Academy, where
A wrestling training academy?
children over the what'd you say?
A wrestling training academy, right? I just want to make sure I understand.
Yeah, the Bathory Pro Youth Training Academy.
Uh-huh.
I do not know who the trainer is, and someone should probably look into it, considering again everything we know about the Brit Rest scene. But I did check out one of their matches. I did watch their champion Rebel against the Griff Reaper.
That's a great name.
Yeah, the Griff Reaper. The Griff Reaper is, well, to set the scene a little bit, the ring announcer on this is probably 12 years old. And he is a white boy with a mushroom haircut,
Of course.
wearing a Michael Jordan jersey,
Uh-huh.
Chicago Bulls red, jean shorts, and I believe Jordan ones. And he's introducing these kids as they come out to the ring. The Griff Reaper, I mean, I will never sit here and pretend to be a good talent scout, but this
Mm-hmm.
kid's got something. At 11 years old, he knows how to work heel, and boy, oh boy, did he put a beating on the champion of the Bathory um, Youth Pro Wrestling Academy, the Forsaken Championship match. Worth noting that this entire company, we're checking out just for the AI generated images where it looks like a bunch of fucking 12-year-olds about to beat the shit out of each other. I understand full well, you know, it's important for this podcast to do everything they can to disparage women, and we haven't yet disparaged young girls. So Rebel, if you're listening to this, it's time to pack it up, kiddo. You don't got it.
How old is she, this poor girl? Like
I,
10?
I probably most likely, but I mean, just getting into the ring, she does it with the grace of a turtle. To me, it's just a shame that you have the future of this industry in the Griff Reaper. And I have to be clear, like this kid is as fucking cool as it gets. Comes out with a leather jacket. He like sticks his tongue out at the crowd who's booing at him. Kick a fucking go. He's so long as we keep him away from other Brit wrestling talent. Sky's the limit for this kid. But yeah, I figured that somebody had to cover the Bristol Youth Wrestling Academy, if only to ensure that somebody is aware of them. So again,
Yeah, hopefully the police are aware.
Yeah, I know cops listen to this podcast. So it's mostly shouts to the boys in blue. Yeah, thanks for all your fucking hard work. I'm for funding the police. I want that on record.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, on that note, let's pivot to the mini top. You, correct me if I'm wrong, did watch all of the Senjo Soul documentary series at this point, and I'm pretty sure you did it pretty quick. And for those who don't know, Sentai Girls has been running a YouTube channel or YouTube series where it's sort of a documentary without commentary for the most part. It almost feels like, from my perspective, if you've seen the Gay Girls documentary, it feels like the Gay Girls documentary but not cursed. And one thing that I found out via the Wrestling Observer message board, people are starting to have conversations around end of year voting for the Observer. It's something that they like to do, is they like to check in at the 6-month mark. And somebody's been advocating for Sendai Girls as promotion of the year. And I didn't know this, but largely this fucking channel is doing numbers. The last episode,
insane.
yeah, the last episode is up to 150,000 viewers, and according to my friend Dave, and shout out to Dave, like I know I rag on the Observer a lot, but the dudes I made, the friends I made from there are really great guys. Dave,
so not Dave Metzler, Dave,
not
a different
Dave
Dave.
Metzler, Dave Portino. He I think he does a lot of writing for the Social Suplex Network. Dope dude. We don't see eye to eye about a lot of stuff in ring, but always got along pretty well. But he called to my attention that attendance is up, like in some areas upwards to 40% with Sendai Girls, largely because of this YouTube series. So I knew you've been recommending it. I've been meaning to check it out, and unfortunately, all the titles seem to be in Japanese, so I've never been able to find it via searching. Dave put together a little list that allowed me to at least check out the first episode. So I finally dug in like 2 weeks ago with my wife, like after I don't know what we did, but we watched the first episode, and my wife loves Shihiro, my wife loves Miko, and she was just absolutely fucking captivated by the first episode. And since you've seen every, I just kind of wanted to see like both what you thought about it and you know, why it kind of like led to, you know, you wanting to discuss the Reina debut match.
So just to put a like slightly more context for it, the way the series started, my understanding is like there was Chihiro did like a post-match promo, and she talked about wanting Senjo to get big enough to go to the Budokan. And the guy who's running it, he runs like some other big YouTube channel that gets like several 100,000 views. I don't know what the details of it, but he was in attendance, and he was like, "This is a sick story." And then he hit up Senjo, was like, "Hey, can I make a documentary about you guys?" And like that's where it started. So if you made it to the end of a couple of episodes, you hear Chihiro doing this promo. That's a promo that dug him in, or that got him interested in it. But yeah, so like the thing it's like mostly just like kind of chill. Like you see like there's like slice of life stuff going on. But I think, which is like fun because they have like some interesting personalities.
Yeah.
Everybody there has like 8 brain cells, affectionate.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like the real draw of it for me is watching them train.
Fuck yeah.
Because you don't get to see that very often in wrestling in general, and when you do, it's like often not super interesting. But I find watching them training to be pretty compelling.
Oh god, yeah.
For a couple of reasons. One is like it's interesting to think about why they're so good with like such a small roster, and like you have to assume that's it. Like how they train is a big part of it, right? Because you hear people talk about, oh, the reason Joshis or Puro in general, people are better than like people on the American scene is because they wrestle more. And that's true, but like nobody who's like a full-time Senjo wrestler wrestles 100 times a year, like straight up.
Right.
So like I think it has to be like a lot of it has to be what's going on in their training. So like seeing the attention to detail and like how they go about it was like something that like immediately I was like, oh, that's really cool. I want to see.
Entirely. And so like both episodes I've watched. The first episode, there is like a tag match that ends up like being like taking up like 20 minutes of the hour-long episode, and the last one, it's probably like more than that. It's probably like 50 minutes of like the hour and a half long episode. Saying this out loud, it does feel insane. Like to be like, guys, watch this. Watch this 90-minute documentary series. But I mean, it is fucking incredible. Yeah.
I'd say I tweeted out, and I stand by it, that like it's a more compelling weekly series than like most of the wrestling weekly series that you watch.
Are you including like American like serialized wrestling television?
Oh, is it? Yeah, like is it?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not like entirely, but
maybe
certainly
not
like,
MLW. Maybe not MLW. Yeah.
I was gonna say, but like the segments of it that are really interesting, like the 15 minutes that Michael spent with Reina prior to her debut was better than 90% of the stuff that's been on AEW TV this year, straight up.
Certainly better than anything I've seen on Unreal too. Like yeah, by and large. Which I have to watch. I can't prevent myself from doing it.
That's sort of interesting. I hadn't thought about that, but it's sort of interesting to watch. Like on the one hand, you have WWE doing their fake reality behind the scenes thing, and then on the other hand, you have Sanjo doing like a real behind the scenes documentary. It's sort of like interesting to think about how like that informs a lot of the that informs, but that like the difference in their philosophy explains why one would be telling stories in their behind the scenes, and the other one you see the stories that are actually happening. That's like sort of interesting to think about.
Yeah, and like I think like that, like I mean, like not to turn us into violent cinephiles or anything, but like I think like one of the things that I like to make a comparison, right? Like between like what happens on Unreal, like it is obviously as like, you know, that is a company that is like entirely making sure that it is in complete control of the entire narrative about what it's doing, like down to like press releases and like how they like have paid state media working for them at Forbes. And like when you compare that to like what you're seeing with with Sendai Girls, like I mean, like maybe this is crazy to say, but like, have you seen? I don't know how much of a sports fan you are. Like, have you seen any of the 30 for 30s, especially like the earlier ones?
I've seen a handful, but not many, and not recently.
It reminds me a lot of like Steve James's work. Like I know it sounds like fucking crazy to say, but like I mean, like if I was to compare this to like anything I've seen like from like a sports documentary, like the closest thing is fucking Hoop Dreams. Like it truly fucking is. Like and part of the beauty of it is that like it is stripped down bare, right? Like it's there is no like voiceover overlays. You're getting such like a big segment of like just the in-ring work, like how much work goes on behind the scenes to like actually like lay things out like in the ring. Like the bit that I like the most about episode 52, which is the one that you told me you were thinking you were going to touch on, and then like when you brought up, like I want to go deep, especially after watching it was like there's like just one segment where like Miko is basically explaining to Rina sort of like the physical difference it would look like, just what it would mean like to try to push a 20 or like a 50 kilogram person into the Turner Cornbuckle just with like a, you know, like a double leg take down or take over. I mean, I don't know fucking Greco-Roman wrestling, as opposed to like 100 kilogram person, right? Like, so she's like, all right, great. Like you've been doing this thing. It kind of looks like ass. If you want to make it like look like you're selling the struggle, go ahead and try to do it to Chihiro. And so she basically just runs it. Chihiro tries to tackle her, bangs right into her fucking waist area, and Chihiro just like a fucking brick is just like, you're not fucking moving. And it's like plants her feet back, and it's just like completely doesn't like budge an inch, while Rina is just like probably like just being like whining like a fucking infant, right?
You can like hear her groaning, and she's like, she's giving max effort, and she's like a car whose like engine is going and going and going, but isn't moving.
Yeah, And then that becomes like a fucking 25-minute long segment, right? And like when I think about like what I love about like Sendai Girls, especially at the end of the day, like that's my favorite promotion. I wish they had a bigger roster so it didn't feel as like repetitive to me. But like if I had to pick like one wrestling match to watch, like any one given night, like that is going to be it. And it largely is because of its in-ring style. And I think like it's just so interesting to me is like some of the moments that like I'm thinking a lot about the Miko Iwata and Chihiro match from that we both liked so much from last November. Like there's like such early work in the beginning of that match where it's just like I wouldn't say they're doing like a great job selling in that match. I remember like somebody in the Discord was critical about that, like when it happened. It was just like, like Chihiro selling, but like I think like this kind of the beauty and the thing that I've always just really appreciated about is like the struggle in the narrative becomes the struggle in such a way that it just carries over in the match. And like the kind of like to see that this is the attention to detail that they're getting. Where it's like, comparatively, like where like I'm sure what they're doing in the performance center in Orlando is like, don't forget to look at the fucking hard cam. Like, yeah, like you have to come up with a finishing move that's gonna be like the wrestling equivalent of like a YouTube short. And it's just like instead, like here I am, I'm getting a 20 fucking minute segment of just like watching these women just be like, oh, okay, it's a lot harder to push around a 50-pound woman as opposed to a 70-pound woman, as opposed to a kilogram, as opposed to a 100-kilogram woman. And like to see that get played out over a minute of like over like a 20 to 30 minute span, I'm just like, fuck, no wonder you're the best fucking promotion in the world. It's fucking unbelievable.
That segment specifically was the one that I said this is better than basically anything you see. Yeah. Because it was interesting to see that there was real struggle, not just in the matches, but in the training, which was something I thought was really interesting, and in the way that like that one forms the other. Because like obviously like we live in a post-kayfabe world, we know matches are fake,
right?
But also like there's a real sense of you have to earn the action, right? And I think that's like really compelling and a lot of what makes. And the more they lean into it, the better Senjo is, I think. And I think they do like a pretty good job of leaning into it. And
and is this the first episode where Sakamura gets in the ring?
Yeah, she actually she mentions at one point that this is the first time that she's been in the ring really like in a training capacity, at least since her retirement like over a year ago at this point now.
Right. Yeah. Almost a year and a half ago at this point. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, no, and I think that I did see clips of that going around on Twitter of her and Rena, and yeah, I mean, I guess like since you've seen so much of like the rest of the show, like how much of a like presence is she on these in the first place? Like she's
Micah?
She makes
she's not much. The show really follows the wrestlers, so you'll see like basically episodes like break down into a couple of pieces. There'll be the training segments, which I think are the most interesting. And then, or you'll see him like following the wrestlers around on their day to day. Like they might be going to do promotional work, or they might be, or he's gone to like people's houses, like for a day in the life sort of thing. But so stuff like that with the wrestlers makes up the vast majority of what you see. So you only see Maiko you primarily see Maiko when they're interacting with her, which is not like insanely often because like the stuff that they're covering is mostly like in the ring, and Maiko, she's not training them, like, which was like something I found I didn't realize until I started watching. Like,
right, same.
Chihiro and Miko Iwata appear to be like the head trainers there.
Yep.
Yeah, so you don't see Michael often. Sometimes, like, there's like episodes where they are talking. That's not true. You see, and anytime there's an episode that takes place at a show, you see her briefly, but she's got like the 10th most screen time or something.
Oh wow, yeah. No, that does make sense too. Like, and I think that like, especially like the sense that I got from the first episode, and yeah, in agreement. It definitely seems like the two of them are like the head trainers. It's so sick to just see like Chihiro like like work through with these like younger talents, and even folks who've been in the roster for a bit, like like Yuna. And like that was the thing too, is that like what the show is doing to like humanize like women who have like largely unassuming personalities compared to some of their peers, right? Like it's not because it's not like any of these women like seem like as extroverted as anyone in Stardom. But like,
Eureka a little bit. That girl
but
is
even her,
hilarious.
yeah, she is hilarious, and Manami too. This just also just seems like one of the dumbest fucking people on the planet. Belovedly, affectionately.
You saw the Kentucky Fried Chicken clip, right?
Oh yeah, that's like the main reason why. Like when I was watching with my wife, I was like, we have to find this episode where the one who screams at the top of her lungs tries to define what KFC is. But yeah, no, but like I remember like my first thing like with I loved about the first episode is that like Yuna is somebody who like I don't give a fuck about like at all. Like I've seen her wrestle. I'm just like I don't know if there's anything here, but like I watched her in the first episode like be like, what did she say? She was like, I it's not my responsibility to clean the ring, but I feel that it's important that someone does. And like I was just watching her do that, and then at the end of the episode, they're like training like 8 and 9-year-olds, probably in much more ethical ways than the Bathory Youth Training Academy is. Yeah, and then like Chihiro's like, oh, this is how Yuna got here. Like she trained with us like 10 years, like 10, 15 years ago. I'm just like. I'm putting this kid in my will, like I am like half like every other fucking Joshi that I platonically like want to adopt. Yeah, no, it is just doing just such like a crazy good job to just like humanize like like folks who like don't get the same sort of like social media attention as like I don't know anyone in Stardom does. I think like before we wrap and like head to the questions, because I do want to do everything I possibly can to keep this like a short episode. Like, what would be like your favorite segment that's happened so far? And like, if there was like one episode in which like you had to recommend everybody check out, like what would it be? Which would it be?
So let's see. The segment that we talked about with Maiko and Reina in the ring is, I think, the most interesting segment.
Sure.
There's a couple of other training segments, but I don't remember. The problem is I don't remember which episodes they're on.
Yeah, of course, that makes sense.
But I think that's like, if not the most, and one of the most interesting ones. If I was going to recommend a full episode, that one is not bad. The other one would be the one right after that, which is, I want to say, episode 53. And all the episodes are in Japanese, but also 53 is not the most recent one, but the second to most recent one. And they are numbered somewhere in the title, I think.
They are in English at the end. Thank fucking goodness.
Yeah. So this episode 53 covers there's, I don't know how to pronounce it, the show that we're talking about that had the Reina debut and the Chihiro Benny match. So it covers the behind the scenes of that.
Okay.
So it's like a pretty good intro, as far as like you get to see like a lot of the personalities, and you get to see like how they interact on show day, which is it's like slightly less interesting, I think, than the stuff they do in the dojo, but it's still pretty interesting. And all of the personalities are there, and it's in like a relatively high stakes situation. Like they're in like a 5,000 person arena or whatever, and usually they're in like a 2,000 person arena.
If that, right? Like,
yeah.
No. And so that would have been, and so that's like, it's actually filmed the day of that show.
Yeah. It's following them from like rink construction until the end of the show. Sick. Oh, there's also a segment in that one where they talk to Aja about being in Reina's debut match, which was also a really interesting interview. She said it's the first time she's done a debut match in decades, and she did it like essentially out of respect for Maiko, because one of the things that she said at Maiko's retirement match is, I'm going to keep fighting you by fighting your students and the people who come through your organization.
Right.
So
yep.
That was like a really cool like storyline to like follow through in that way as well.
I gotta rewatch that show, man. That show was fucking awesome.
The retirement show? Yeah, it
just
was.
like fucking seeing everybody come out, like seeing like Akodu come out and shit. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah,
They do so
it was great.
in general. They like Joshi, and I guess Japanese wrestling in general does like a really great job of honoring their legends in a way that American wrestling doesn't, right? Like AEW is better than other companies, but it's close but not the same. And then like
So
obviously
you don't think Danhausen is gonna get taken out back and shot in a way that's going to be interesting to the WWE, to the Fed heads?
God, I hope he does.
If Danhausen's retirement match is them taking him behind the performance center and shooting him in the back of the head, I might change my entire opinion about them.
Do you remember like Goldberg's retirement match got like
yeah
like he didn't get like the time in the ring or whatever, like after that he wanted or something? That's just so unbelievably shitty.
Yeah, and that was like it. They lost TV time because they did that work storyline where Seth broke his leg, and they didn't tell him about that, which I think is like, I mean, like it's. I really wish I had a chance to cover that a little bit deeper on Patron Saints. But one thing that I'm learning is that Colette, as eager as she is to talk about early 2000s WWE, she has absolutely no interest in watching modern WWE. So I keep trying to be like, hey, no, actually, you have to watch John Cena's retirement match. And then like the episode comes around, like I could tell she's watching it like on like while we're recording. And and like, yeah, no, that was something like because like what a fucking like hilarious thing to do to like Goldberg of all people, the guy who like takes everything so fucking personally. To just cut him off like on the show and they'd be like, oh yeah, we threw it up on YouTube. That's fine, right? What a delight. All right, but yeah, no, cool. Thanks for that little rundown. I'm definitely going to I'm going to try to check that episode out tonight. Granted, I've been promising people all week that I'm going to check out things related to wrestling. To say nothing of the episode I'll be recording relatively soon. I would love it if somebody figured out. Is there like a playlist that has all these things? Do you have access to?
They have a channel, and you can just
okay. It's separate from the Sendai Girls.
Yeah,
one,
it's
right?
it's not that they have their own YouTube channel, and I think if you just like go to the video section, it should just be only episodes. I think.
Dope. Okay.
I'll double check after the episode after we're done recording, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Dope. But yeah, I realized that like right before we hopped on air that I was not on the Sendai Girls channel. Like, oh, okay. No wonder I couldn't fucking find these things. Let alone I don't speak Japanese. But yeah, no, cool, great. So yeah, we'll pivot right over to the Wacky Line Dokomoy edition. But before we do that, just kind of a rundown on what's been on the site lately. So for some reason, the website is in the carousel image is showing the world's most dangerous retrospective Ken Shamrock versus Don Fry match. So Sam, congratulations on continuing to juke the numbers in your favor. I have no idea why a 2-year-old article is in the front page.
Who's the webmaster?
I believe Sam.
Well, that answers your question as to why a 2-year-old article is up on the front page.
Yeah, I mean it is between Sam and Dan though, so like who knows what's going on in that regard. But so in terms of what was on the site, in terms of podcasting, Worn Out Tapes number 9 came out with Colette and Soul. They covered Dory Funk Jr. and Terry Funk versus Stan Hansen and Terry Gordy. I have heard that the audio on that is theoretically listenable. So check that out if you want. The big homie Tim finally finished up his coverage of the G1 via his T1 series. If you haven't listened to that, it is the easiest way to get updates on what the fuck was going on in the G1, a 7-minute to 8-minute long episode after every show. If you haven't listened to the last one, highly recommend. Tim, I love you, you big sweetheart. Congratulations on being the third. Well, actually, I guess congratulations on being the third VPR podcast host who choked up mid-podcast and being the first to cry. But love you deeply. And shouts to Barley, the big homie. I know. I'm about to cry again. All right, I'll stop. But yeah, no, love you deeply, and did a great job of covering this. And I'm glad that it was able to offer some solstice during a pretty difficult couple of months. Our on top of that, the God Corvo, I only noticed this today, and I'm kicking myself about it, but he did a road report after going to Monday Night Raw on August 10th. I cannot wait to read that. I love Corvo and everything that he does. And then our sweet, beautiful Irish prince / princess, depending on how much like me he actually will become, did a did a rundown or a review of the show everyone's talking about. DDT wrestled Peter Pan 2026. So if you are an absolute freak and are interested in seeing Padraig's perception on how the Yuki Ueno versus Mao match went, please check that out. It seems as if he gave that match two ratings. I don't know if I'm reading this correctly, but it looks like he either gave that match 1.5 stars and or 3 and 1/4 stars. So
I think there was a match, and then there was like an impromptu match afterwards is what happened.
Got it. That sounds like everything we need. Beautiful. Glad to hear the homies in DDT are still cooking up the way they are. All right. Well, on that point, let's get to the segment that everybody's absolutely here for. We were going to do the Wacky Line Dokomoy edition. I specifically asked for questions solely for Natan. They seem to be centered a lot around burgers, which is really getting me going. So the first question is from one of our newer members who seems normal.
It's really fun. It's really funny. We're getting a bunch of members to the Discord who are coming from patron saints. So they don't, as patron saints listeners, so they don't realize that we're all fucking morons. It's great.
I know. And it's one of those things where it's like, is this an opportunity for me to be the fake version of myself that pretends I'm an intellectual on Colette's level, or am I just honest? And so anytime I'm like responding to these people, I'm trying to be welcoming to them, but I also want them to know full well that they are now in a community of complete fucking morons. So it's a fun balance for me.
They're gonna figure it out. Like,
yeah, it's true. It's true. As soon as they see Padraig spelling, it'll become as abundantly clear as possible. Which apparently I have not been able to stop thinking about the fact that he thinks that 80% of the hate he gets, he doesn't deserve. I have not been able to stop thinking about that.
What percentage would you put it at?
I don't know. I think we all rib each other pretty fun, is my real answer. My fake answer is 1%. He's my sweet prince. And no one should bully him, especially the trans woman who lives in Austin, Texas. I'm sorry, my son. I'll be a better mother. All right, but anyway, the normal question that we have before it gets completely insane is, what wrestlers do you feel most passionate about that have the least attention on them?
That's an interesting question. I guess I'll give one historic answer and one current answer. My historic answer is my son and favorite insane boxing man, Tanamsak Toba, whose name I probably butchered, who was I guess he's still wrestling occasionally now, but wrestled primarily in DDT when it was like a sleazy Japanese indie promotion. And he's this dude who's like, I don't know, like 150 pounds soaking wet, wearing these giant boxing gloves and just going into the ring and wailing on people. And I guess the way I describe his matches to people is it feels like what a wrestling match on crack would be in terms of just like frenetic energy, but also being like, I actually don't know how fun crack is. I assume it must be, otherwise you wouldn't do it, but just being like a ton of fun.
Well, I think we have an episode title. Yeah, no, he wrestled a lot in DDT too, right?
Yes, that was his home promotion for almost his entire career.
Yeah, Steph gave me a rec of one of his matches.
Oh fuck yeah!
It was like a week where like I like tweeted like I've been watching. Oh, you know what? It was the first week of Patron Saints because I had been watching so much WCW that I needed like some freak show shit. And that was Steph's recommendation to me, was his match, and I can't remember who it was against. I could probably find it if I look at my spreadsheet. But yeah, it was just two dudes just beating the fucking piss out of each other. Yeah, that guy fucking rocks.
He's
Uh,
he's my name for the Patron Saints wheel, by the way. So hopefully you'll get to know him
yeah,
better.
yeah. I've only seen the one match, and I'm another person actually wanted to put him on the wheel, but was gassed when they saw that he was there already.
Oh,
So,
that's awesome! I love that.
yeah. Yeah, I was like after like when we announced the wheel, like it was like one of the third people. That's on Blue Sky. Shout outs to the Nothing app. Um, but do you have an answer in terms of a modern
Yeah,
person?
I guess
Okay,
the answer I'll give is Ayame Sasamura. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
no,
She
maybe.
she wrestles. Her home promotion is 2AW, which was Taka Michinoku's promotion before he started. I don't know what happened exactly, but she started whatever his promotion is called, JTO. But
Yep.
so she's a Joshi wrestler who wrestles primarily for them, and I think she wrestles a lot for Seedling this year. And she also won the women's Evo title recently. And I think she's just like really awesome. She doesn't get any talk hardly because she wrestles for Seedling and Pro Wrestling Evo, right? So nobody knows who the fuck she is, but she's like kind of. Oh, you probably watched the match with her, because there was a tag. I can't remember exactly details, but there was a tag against Senjo people that like I think we talked about. But
Okay.
anyway, she's like I like her a lot. She's like really charismatic, like in ring, and also occasionally is a total insane person who will throw gnarly headbutts. And she's just like incredibly versatile. She can have like sort of silly matches. She can hit you insanely hard and be like a goblin about it. She's like she can exchange holds. I saw a match with her and I can't remember his name, but like where she was like it was like 20 minutes of like exchanging holds, and I thought it was really compelling. So I think she's somebody who, if you're looking at a card and you see her name, you should like pay attention to her. That'd be my modern answer.
Dope. What was her name again?
Ayame Sasamura.
Naomi Sasamura. Yeah, I'm gonna check as soon as we're off here whether or not I've seen much of her.
Uh-huh.
I think like my serious answer is probably Hiroto Matsumoto. I have not seen a ton of her, but every
Uh-huh.
time I see her, I am just utterly fucking impressed by what she's able to execute. Um, had a good match against Mirai in January, I want to say,
Yes.
in Seedling. Yeah, okay, cool. That ripped. I wish more people talked about her. I feel like I feel like my historical answer is probably Angelico. I don't know. Like that's the person who comes to mind at the top. Like it bugs me that more people don't. I don't know. Put respect on my on the Black Elon Musk's name more than they should.
He rocks for sure.
But yeah, he does. I I often get into arguments with people who are like, "Who would want to see this person?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, me. That guy rocks."
People who have
I like it
taste,
is.
motherfucker.
Yeah. Anytime he comes out, like my wife starts laughing at his dance, and I'm just like, "You don't know what cool is. Like, what the fuck you like? How cool he is." And granted, like he does have a really long torso that I find very sexy. I'm probably just distracted by how hot I find them. Great worker though, could go in the ring too. Yeah, I feel like those would probably be my answers. Although now I'm remembering though that only one of these questions is a question that I got permission to also answer.
I'll
And it's
allow
the
it.
next.
It's fine.
um, yeah. All right. I might answer two then. The next question is, what is your Jack in the Box order?
So the reason we got a bunch of burger related questions is because I posted in the food channel the other day that Jack in the Box is doing a Simpsons Halloween horror deal later in the
Oh
year,
shit!
and how excited I was for that. So
Fuck.
my answer is, I think, let me look at the challenge. My answer to that is a munchie meal of horror because that's what I'll be getting. And I don't remember the last time I've had Jack in the Box besides that. So I don't have a Jack in the Box order.
Okay. No, that seems exciting. I'm looking forward to heading over there. My answer to this question is the buttery uh fucking, is that what I'm gonna say? Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with buttery smash jack. Anytime you get the fucking buttery burgers at that place, because I mean, they slather the burger in butter. I mean, like, how the fuck can you go wrong?
Wow, that is
Um,
decadent.
it is. Like, you see the fucking butter on the motherfucker. The shit's fucking incredible. Quick aside, I don't know if I told the story or not, but like, in 2020, like right when like COVID initially hit, I remember like, like me and my wife were like very much like, before being disabled, we were very much like people who would go out to eat pretty regularly, and like, like we wanted to have a date. I wanted to have a date night. I wanted to like treat her. And I
Huh.
was like, yeah, like figure out a restaurant, like, like we'll have like a nice little like romantic, like, like date or something like that. I might not have said the word romantic, which would potentially explain what happened. I like about like a day later, like I was in a meeting in my office, and she knocks on the door and comes in with with the insert from like a newspaper, the coupons
Yeah, yeah.
for Jack in the Box, and they're doing a deal where it's like an appetizer box for $10, and she's like, can we do this? I was like, yeah, but that's not what I meant. Like, I wanted to do something nice. So yeah, and I do remember, like, I did actually try to use the coupon. Like, when I brought it to Jack in the Box, they were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" They had no idea, like, that the deal even existed. It took like 7.5 minutes just for them to like figure out that like they had to give me like
Incredible.
the mini tacos for like $10. Um, love you, boo. I know you're not listening to this. Um, all right, next question on here is I think this is for you.
Uh-huh.
Who do you most want to buy a burger for?
Oh God. I feel like, first of all, I feel like I'm stepping on your toes by answering this. So I want you to know
You
this
know,
is purely a hypothetical. I would never take this away from you.
please do.
All right. With that out of the way, who in the Violent People server would I most like to buy a burger for?
I always want to clarify. It did not specify that had to be somebody from the server.
Oh, okay. Well, I hate all of you, obviously. No.
Mm-hmm.
God, who do I want to buy a burger for? Hmm, this is a hard question. So much pressure. Let's go with somebody who's not going to listen to this by any chance, but my goat, Mike Awesome Mike, who has put me onto a lot of great wrestling and is also the only
Nice.
reason 90% of us can find wrestling shows the day after they happen.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That guy deserves a burger. So does Buttfarter. Shit. Somebody should buy Buttfarter a burger.
Somebody
Fuck.
should buy Butt Farter Burger. That would also be a reasonable episode title.
It would be. Yeah. It would be. My initial idea for the episode title was going to be "Women Can Do Anything," but I'm getting convinced in other directions. All right, this next question is from me, and I think like, I mean, like, I don't know. I should probably walk it back, but it was a cue for the D. Explain yourself regarding Mercedes Monet greater than Sarah Del Rey, which I will just come out and say you didn't fucking say.
I did not.
So yeah, I don't know where the fuck I got that from.
I don't have a take on that. I haven't seen enough Sarah to feel confident one way or the other.
Yeah, that feels fair. That feels entirely fair. All right, well, let's just move the fuck on since
Sure.
I have talked enough about Sarah Del Rey. All right, cue for the P. Are you getting paid for this podcast appearance? And then you have another cue for me. Do you have Cash App or Venmo?
I do. I don't know if
Perfect.
I think mine might have expired. I never use it. I'll have to
Fuck.
check afterwards. To the best of my knowledge, I'm not. Padraig, I know is the one who asked this, and the important thing about this, Padraig, is that you said you were paying everybody but me, which felt deeply unfair. If you were paying anybody, I would not have been so upset.
I love that. All right. Q for the P is another one from Padraig. I don't necessarily know if I understand it.
Uh-huh.
Has Orchid offered to convert? So I'm gonna guess. Does that mean like to? Does that mean pay for this,
No,
or
so
does he mean like?
this is part of the same bit where after
Okay.
we were riffing on how everybody on that was on his pods got paid except for me, he said
Mhm.
in lieu of paying me, he would get Dan to convert to Judaism.
Oh fuck yeah.
And Dan agreed. So we are apparently going to pod together at some point when Dan is less busy.
Fuck yeah. I love
So
that for both.
I don't know. Are you going to convert to Judaism too?
I no.
No, you're too
I when I
Italian for it. I understand.
Yeah, no. When I did my like fucking ancestry, DNA thing, I found out I was 0.1% Jewish, and I was like really excited when I saw that I was Jewish on the readout. But then when I found out I was that small, I was like, I can't do anything about that. Shouts to Jews though. Mazel tov to Dan. Proud of all y'all.
Shout
Next
out
one,
to Jews. Another episode
yeah,
title.
it could be. Next one, what this is from Chris. I think that's important. What genre YouTube video do you think drifted me off to my nap?
All right, let's see. Let's eliminate stuff. It wasn't a wrestling video because Chris either isn't in the mood for wrestling or it's some insane like lucha indie stuff that he's fucking locked in for.
Yeah,
It's not a sports related thing because based on what I know of the teams he follows, that would be like too infuriating, right?
I think so.
Like, because they're always just like breaking his heart. And so let's say it was like a Paul McCartney interview.
That's where I was going too. I was thinking I recommended to him a few months ago on the podcast the Paul McCartney chicken shop date, and I'm really hoping that he finally watched it and that lulled him to sleep. Those videos are absolutely like vibe based videos. You could fall asleep to those pretty easy.
Hell yeah.
Dope. All right. What's the best fast food burger in America? Oh, I already know your answer to this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We covered that enough in Discord.
We did.
Christ.
Do you have an answer for the people who maybe aren't?
Oh, you know what? I don't know if I have an answer. I feel like I'm a big person who, if I had like, when it comes to like fast food burgers, I am always going to get like what the special is. Like that to me is like sort of like my bread and butter. I know Ty asked this question largely because we both, really missed the pub house burger from Wendy's, his employer. I remember that thing just being just absolutely fucking beast. The chicken sandwich, especially for a period of time, that was the only thing I could eat.
What is a pub house burger?
It was like a burger with like, or you can get it as a burger or as a chicken sandwich. I'll get it as a chicken sandwich. Chicken sandwich with bacon, I believe pepper jack, beer cheese, on a pretzel bun. The thing was
Okay,
fucking incredible.
that sounds good. I could fuck with that.
Unfucking believable. Yeah, it was like a special menu, and then it got taken off and got added back for a brief period of time, and now it's off again. I would love to talk about the burger I had twice this week. I bought it a few days ago, thinking I just wanted to take a bite of a burger. After watching that video on Twitter, I was going around about that guy spitting a burger around and somebody being like, why would you rotate a burger? Which I think is like the fucking dumbest thing. Obviously, you're rotating a burger to figure out the best place to take a bite out of it. I mean, as we know, this is a subject I'm passionate about.
Yes.
Yeah. But I recently ate from the fine establishment Sonic, their tropical heat Sonic Smasher. I'll read the description. 2 juicy hand smashed patties made with Angus beef, stacked with melty pepper jack cheese and crispy bacon, topped with a jalapeno pineapple glaze, bringing the perfect sweet heat kick to every bite. Balanced with a crisp lettuce and creamy mayo, all in a soft potato bun. I have had 2 of these this week, and again, I need to be a good girl, but while I talk about burgers, I might get it again tonight. I can't stop thinking about it. It's fucking incredible. My wife will kill me.
I had Sonic, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. I was driving through Central California, the Central California Valley, and there was somewhere in there's a Sonic. And I got some sort of chicken burger in the middle of nowhere, and it was not it. I don't remember. Yeah. I don't remember anything about it except that I was like, "This is the worst thing I've ever eaten." So I haven't had Sonic since.
I remember like when I started grad school, like I hadn't had Sonic, and my roommate like loved it, and like like he was like, oh, we got to drive to Sonic, and this was like before there was like predominant in the country as they are now. And the nearest one was an hour and a half away. So we drove an hour and a half away to go to Sonic. We were eating the shit in the parking lot. And just being like, this is like good if it's like, like down the street, but like this is not a 3-hour round trip burger. Or nor are the tots. I've long thought about that. Like Sonic is only as good as your proximity to it. If you're far away from your house when you're eating at the Sonic, you're not gonna have a good time.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. There aren't any in LA apparently. I'd have to go like 30 miles or something, and obviously I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going 30 miles for any fast food place.
I'm still thinking about that salad description you sent me a few weeks ago. That thing sounds fucking bomb. Granted, no one can eat lettuce anymore.
True.
I guess everyone's eating lettuce again. Who cares? Fuck public health. Am I right? All right. And last question, which should be a fun one. What take do you have that would make the fine people of the Violent People Discord the most mad?
Huh. An interesting question.
I got a quick one.
Let's hear it.
I don't even believe it, but I just want to say it. Mad Dog's okay.
See, would that even... I feel like that wouldn't even make people that mad because, like...
That's true.
I remember, like, I think it was Pat. It was either Pat or Dan or maybe both were pushing that we only fucked with Mad Dog because he was, like, on DPW. Otherwise, we would all be Slade heads instead at some point last year.
That is probably... A lot of my co-hosts are not as into Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Sam is the one who really is low. I think Sam is the lowest on him.
What would... I guess I'll say... I don't know if this will actually make people mad, but it might. It's fine if people don't want to watch a wrestler because they're a shitbird. And just because wrestling is full of it doesn't mean you can't draw lines in the sand. And you don't have to be, and just because you're not consistent doesn't actually fucking matter, like at all. If somebody doesn't want to watch somebody, that's chill. And if they don't want to watch somebody, but they do want to watch somebody else, it doesn't fucking matter at all. That'll be my answer.
We're gonna have to close the Discord down because of that take, unfortunately. Yeah, this is the most strangely anti-cancel culture Discord in America. All right, well, on that note, you heard it here first. Enjoy your God. There's so many. Enjoy your Joey Ryan matches. Please put your hand on your dick for me, and especially if you're a police officer. You'll hear from us on Tuesday night, Wednesday. Love you, mean it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.